I think for me, when I seen the statistics about alcoholism in Northern Ireland, or like alcohol issues predominantly in young women in Northern Ireland, the fact that we'd like officially beat Scotland in young female deaths. We were the top of the whole United Kingdom when it came to young female deaths to do with alcohol. And when I read those stats and seen those numbers, like it was crazy because like nobody's talking about it. So I think making a documentary on it was just like, I felt like it was needed, you know?
Were you nervous before you embarked upon the whole journey of actually documenting your experience and obviously talking to other women who were struggling?
Definitely, because I've never done a documentary before. So it's such a serious topic, and I can be quite a silly person. So I was, afraid of making jokes and stuff like that. But with a topic so serious, it was just so heart hitting. The stories that I got to hear from all of these lovely women who've struggled with alcohol or been affected by alcohol, I was just genuinely curious and genuinely fascinated. So it was, easier than I thought it was going to be as far as a task for me to do.
And any standout stories from the women that you spoke to?
Yeah, definitely. One of the women lost her sister to alcohol because she took her life the night she was out drinking. And she'd also lost her mother as well. And like talking to her, because like I'd tried to take my life on numerous occasions when I was drinking, and to actually sit down with somebody who'd lost someone who took their life because of alcohol was just really hard to hear, because it was what I could have left my family in. The pain that she was going through would have been exactly what I would have put my family through, and it wasn't something that I really sat down and thought about. But it was really hard to hear.
Oh, because that's in the documentary. Your mum and your manager talking about how they were impacted by your addiction to alcohol. With your mum saying that she used to sit in her house waiting for the call to say that you had finally taken your life.
Yeah, I think that's like a really hard thing to hear from your mother, like, because I will never understand, because I'm not a mum. But I can't imagine the pain of every single day just waiting on a phone call to find out that your daughter's dead, because that's how bad it got. I was disappearing for days. I wasn't turning up for work. I was constantly inebriated. And there was I was not being open to help. So it was, she was working a full-time job. So it was just like something that just kept replaying in her head, and it feels awful to hear.
I'm sure your DMs have been on fire since the documentary went out. It went out on the BBC. I'm sure you've had a massive reaction. And I mean, whether you like it or not, you're a role model now for people who see you as someone who's gotten through this. How does that mantle kind of sit with you?
Oh gosh, it's really hard in the sense of, I've only done recovery one way, and that's the way that I did it. I went to AA and all that kind of stuff. And, I even went to rehab. But I'm considering, like really, really seriously considering doing a course in sober coaching, just so I can give people better advice, because, every single day I do get messages from people asking about sobriety, how to get sober, and I can only point them in one direction. So I'm seriously considering doing a course so that I can actually give people a much more educated, answer to the questions that they have.